troubleshooting. Okay, whatever issue we are getting in the injection molding, all the common issues, no, and very logically we will be attending the session so that everybody will be easily able to find out what is the root cause of the issue and attend it. Yeah. Very interesting session. So here I have described some of the major issues in injection molding. Okay, just this page shows only the picture and the issue, but what is the root cause, how to attend it, all these things will be individually covering after this. First thing is a silver streak. You can see, many times we have seen, generally because of moisture content in the raw material, this comes. Okay, and can it aesthetically destroys the part and non-usable part or whatever. Second is known as burning mark. You might have seen in our part some of the area black color mark comes in the part, and that burn mark, or it is known as diesel effect. And third one is known as well line. Wherever the flow front plastic flow moves, and wherever two flows meet, there we can see a well mark. Okay, we can see something like this, a joining of two stream of raw molten material, something entrapping and getting a well line. It is not a well line. These areas will be weak in the part. Okay, some will be weak, some will not be weak. And the fourth one is a sort of pin mark. We used to tell wherever ejector pin is, we can see the impression of the ejector pin over the part. And this one is known as gate blush. Many people observe this in our part. Around the gate, there will be some round, light, whitish color mark around the gate. Very difficult sometimes to solve. And next one is known as record groove or finger mark. It looks exactly like thumb impression or our finger mark on the part. Normally near the gate of end of the flow also we can see these marks. Okay, it will be like a line on the part. Other issue is a flash. Everybody is a common issue. The part is getting overflown. The material is getting overflown the boundary of the cavity, and it will be a thin copper-like formation. Next is a cut short or a short. The part is not filling completely. Even we exert pressure, then also it doesn't get filled completely. Now I am just telling the name, and we will be going in deep to each and every. Okay, why it is coming, how to solve, all the methods will be described. Okay, and some more issues we can see. Next one is a blister mark. Okay, inside the plastic part, if it is transparent, we can see also there will be some type of air entrapment or air bubbles inside the part. Okay, and next one is jetting. Jetting means you can see material will suddenly flow, and we can see a lot of like these ripples in the part. Okay, many times very difficult to solve. So we can see like ripples on the part. And next one is a sing mark. On the part, we can see depressions on the part. After filling also, there will be depression, and aesthetically, it will cause, it will not look good. And other one is a warpage. Warpage we have already discussed, is a property of semi-crystalline material or unsupported, wherever outer area is there, it is not supported. Proper product design is not done. It tends to bend inside. That is known as warpage. Some cases it tends outside also. That is known as, while cooling, it bends. Next comes the black specks. Black specks means black dot on the part. If you have a white or a transparent part, mostly properly, and most of the light color shows up very easily, there will be black dots on the part. Many condition in especially if suppose the product is a headlamp or a transparent, very aesthetically important part. Functionally, it's so we can see even a small dot itself is a rejection. So it can come from the raw material or it can come from the molding machine. Okay, processing also. Contamination. It's a contamination thing. Next is a scoring. Scoring means when we are ejecting, there will be like lines on the part, aesthetically damaging the part. Okay, a lot of lines we can see on the part. So what is silver streak? So first one, silver streak is nothing but if there is a moisture content in our raw material, if we are not dried the raw material as per our specification, like up no as I told you, raw material will absorb the water up to its saturation level. If it is wet, even drying will not help. But if it has already absorbed the water moisture from the atmosphere based on the humidity, so that has to be dried. Every raw material has to be dried based on specification. Normal condition is raw material, whenever it is molding, it has to be 0.02%. If it is not done properly, then what happens? The water inside the granules, okay, will become a steam when it is heated in the molding machine, and it forms like a streak. So this is known as silver streak. So to fix this problem, proper drying of the raw material is very, very important as per the specification. For commodity plastic, simple plastic, this may not be a major issue, but if you are going with engineering plus specialty plastic, this is a very, very major issue. Okay, nylon and all has this problem, very, very severe problem, because nylon absorbs moisture a lot. So nylon is known as a hygroscopic material. Hygroscopic means those material which absorbs water highly. So whenever we are using a highly hygroscopic material, we has to be taken care. It has to be taken care properly, pre-dried, and better to go with a dehumidifier sort of arrangement. And this sometimes this type of streaks also happens when there is a leakage in the mold cooling system. Suppose in the mold cooling lines are there. There are some small O-rings where light leakage has happened. So what happens? Water in the cooling line can enter into the cavity surface, and the hot material, when it is pushed into the cavity during injection, it boils the whatever water traces present in the cavity. So it can also show up the similar type of effect. This is the silver mark. And similarly, there are few other also streaks are there, like burn streak. Okay, yesterday we were talking about the injection molding nozzle. Suppose nozzle is very much prone to overheat, because it is a small portion or small volume. So if overheating happens, there will be a brown kind of mark coming, okay, on the part. It is known as burn streak. So streak also, after looking at the streak, we have to understand whether it's a silver streak. Silver streak means it is due to moisture. It will be a silverish color. It is due to moisture. Second is a burn streak. Burn streak, generally it will be some light brownish yellowish color. It means there is something burning in the tip of the machine or in the hot runner, or it may be some heater in the machine might have gone, thermocouple have gone wrong, so heater is overheating. That also can do burn streak. And there are some air streaks also. Air streak means we can see a light line like sort of thing. Air streak comes because there is whenever we are injecting some, and after injecting, the screw refills the raw material, and we do a setback, means just to reduce the pressure in front of the. If excess pullback is we are doing, some air can enter into the nozzle, and during injection it goes to the mold. So that can air streaks. Okay, these are the streaks. Second one is diesel effect or burn marks. Why it is called diesel effect? Why? Because I can tell you, it's very simple logic. It exactly behaves like whatever happening in a diesel engine or whatever. And in diesel engine, initially air in a diesel engine inlet, the air from the atmosphere will be sucked into the engine, and it will be compressed 1/16. When it's compressed, the slight amount of diesel is injected to that cylinder. Everybody knows whenever a mold flows inside the cavity, there will be only air, nothing will be there. And during the injection, the hot melts, okay, around 250 or 300 hot molten plastic raw material is pushed into the cavity with higher speed and higher pressure. Okay. So what happens? The air inside the cavity, get pushed into a corner, and due to that compression of the air gets superheated. Superheating means it may heat up to 600 degree, 800 or that much due to that pressure. So the hot air, superheated air, burns because raw material can take melt temperature of 300 degree, 250 whatever is recommended one. So the superheated 600, 700 air burns the raw material in that area, which is touching that, and that causes the burn mark. You can see it's a pure burn mark and forms carbon. Okay. To avoid burn mark, what we have to do is like we have to allow the displacement of air, like we have to relieve the air, like we have to provide some type of vending, air vending. Air vending can be through parting line. If this is not in a parting line, so we have to do through some ejector pin or porous pin has to be given so that air escapes. Okay. What normally molding people do, they slow down the injection speed to attend this burn mark. So yesterday I spoken, if you just slow down the injection speed for getting only removing the burn mark, what happens then our process will not be robust. For critical dimension part, will not get a repeatability. Okay? Because plastic likes to flow, quicker speed. Then only melt temperature will be maintained, will get a repeatability. So better to attend this in the mold instead of doing in molding. But people does no slow injection so that air will not slowly will inject. So I recommend to do in modification the tool instead of molding, because that is a all-time fix. Even the mold is taken to another molder or any other person, he can also set it easily. That is the intention. And the third one is a well line. This is a well line. Okay, well line means two plastic flow comes, especially if there is some projection or something in the part. See, center we can see a projection. Okay, center we can see projection. So whenever there is a hollow space coming, so melt, there is an injection point like a gate, then melt splits and go and touches in another point, joins in another point. So joining area, there will be a mark, because when the raw material flows, it temperature drops, and when it touches that lower temperature, two flow front are going to touch each other. So there will be a reduction in the mechanical property. You can see some line on the part. Sometimes if you bend the part, it can break also. How to optimize the well line? You can see there is an angle here. Suppose normally if it is hitting straightly like in a 90-degree or something, then well line will be very severe. And if it has a bigger angle and it is not as a meld line, so if it is a bigger angle instead of 90-degree, above 135-degree, that could be a meld line. Meld line is better in strength than a well line. So or else what we can do, second thing, we can increase the mold temperature. One thing, mold temperature has to be as per the recommended. If it is we are running polycarbonate in a below, it is recommended 90 to 100-degree. If you are running in a 50-degree, then take it up to 100-degree first of all. Then if the gate is quite small, our gate is small, pressure drop is happening in the part quite high, and here the part is not getting pressure at all, then we have to increase the gate size. Then the part, sometimes it will be product design also. The part is so thin, this raw material may not be able to behave properly. If polycarbonate, the part should be 1.7 to 2 mm based on this MFI, melt flow rate, or viscosity. Okay, nylon can go up to even 0.7, 0.8 also. So polycarbonate part, instead of 1.5, 1.7, you are designing a 0.8. Then what happened? The raw material coming from the gate, 300-degree, suppose, it will reduce to 200-degree when it is going to touch in this well line. So well line will not be strong. It will be very weak, easily break, because melt has reduced its temperature. It will not get fused together. This is a cause of the well line. So in the mold, you have to correct if in the part design thickness has to be improved, or sometime we can give some connection here like a flow leader. If in a bigger part we are not able to do product design or mold design bigger change, better to give some bigger part, suppose in automotive, and we give some sort of connection here so that this well line is eliminated. Or else sometime well line can be eliminated by shifting the gate, so that well line will come in an area where it is not mechanically important or performance area. If well line and your performance or your loading area comes together, then what breaks. So shifting the well line is one of the options. Nobody can eliminate well line 100%, but well line can be only optimized. So shifting a gate is also good option. So maybe to this corner. So here is the loading area. Suppose this here the load comes. So instead of gate, see it directly opposite to the gate. So if you give a gate here, what happen? This shift to this area. So this may not be loading area. It will not crack that much. And this angle of meeting also can be increased like that. And third is a ejector pin mark. Ejector pin mark is due since there is no sufficient ejector pin in the mold. To demold the part from the mold, there should be sufficient amount based on the area. There should be sufficient amount ejector pin. Sometimes ejector pin will be lesser and there is no draft. Every part require a draft angle to release because plastic when cooled it sticks to the core. So if there should be good amount of draft recommended by raw material. So that part will be easily pushed and good amount of polishing in the punch surface polishing. Okay, if you are giving some matte finish or like sparking or machining chattering, machining mark is there, we have to be removed in the direction of ejection. That is one. And second thing, proper cooling lines. If there is no cooling lines provided in the punch or cavity, what happens? The punch core cavity get heated up excessively. So the part will not come to its heat distortion temperature. Yesterday we have discussed that. Is the heat distortion temperature at which the part can be ejected from the mold, or above that temperature part will destruct. So for polycarbonate 120 degrees the heat distortion temperature, 115 to 120. So we have to cool the part below that temperature at least 10 degree. So if we are not giving proper cooling line, it will not get cooled because 300-degree temperature melt is coming inside. We are not able to cool it. Then mold get overheated. Sometimes when we make a small mold, there is no plate thickness and punch thickness and all. Then also conduction will not happen. It will just heat up like anything. Sometimes we can see the punch itself looks like a blue color after running. Means the punch is getting overheated. These are the symbols of a pin mark. So sometimes what in molding people, they put some spray or they will not give holding pressure. They just inject, will not give holding. Then zinc mark will be there in the part. Compensating that this has to be attended in the mold design, or sometime in a product if there is a huge thickness, wall thickness is huge some places, okay, not uniform, that area also will not cool drastically. Immediately it not cool, it will take time to cool. If you are giving ejector pin on top of that, that also can pierce and become a ejector pin mark. Okay, so cooling is the best, and providing multiple required amount of ejector pin. If and decide the ejector pin properly, instead of small ejector pin, give little optimum or bigger size ejector pin wherever possible. Increase the number of ejector pin based on the load on the part, pushing load on the part. And sometimes we have to go with, instead of pins, have to give some block ejection or like stripper ejection. Stripper whole part is pushed uniformly. So these are the things to avoid the pin mark, and excessive holding pressure has to be avoided. Next is a gate blush. Gate blush means wide marks around the gate, 3 to 4 mm or 5 mm we can see. Like if the part is black color, you can see ash, gray or ash color or light black color around it. That is a gate blush. The gate blush is nothing but it is a property due to shearing of the raw material in the gate. As I told you, when the material is forced inside to the cavity through the gate, there is a shear heat generating. Raw material get rubbed in the gate because gate is the smallest diameter. So in that area, higher amount of heat is produced. So whatever, when something is overheated or burned, generally everybody knows, it's quite logic. It color fades. When we burn anything, we take something and burn, it color fades. Discoloration happens. Same thing is happening in that area near the gate. So what molder does is he inject slowly in that area so that mark is avoided. After covering that area, he'll inject fast. So that is a technique by molder attended. But as per me, if he does that, injection time is going to increase. First of all. Secondly, he is going to drop the melt temperature flow, increasing the injection time. Then another problem can come. The part consistency will not be there. So how to attend is better is to design a proper gate. Yesterday I discussed about submarine gate with a higher volume. Those type of gate can be designed, or increasing the, yesterday we have done a shear rate calculation. If shear rate is coming in the gate above that recommended of that material, this mark is going to come in the gate. So increase a little bit increase will give a substantial result. So increase the gate based on the shear rate of the raw material, then this mark will be solved. This is the real method of solving the mark. Otherwise, we move the mold from one molder to one machine or another place, it will be very difficult to set, because it is dependent on that machine and that person know how he sets very critically. So I recommend everybody not to set so critical process in the machine. The mold should not be so much dependent on the machine process. Okay, it should be dependent on product design and mold design, so that it can be done in any machine, it can be run in any machine. That is how a robust process is made. Okay, so better to correct in the gate. Use our shear rate calculator. I'll be sharing that, all these things to attend it. And if mold temperature is less, also same problem can come, because melt temperature reduce, then again cold metal is pushed, so it the molecules get destroyed. So better to keep a mold temperature what is recommended by the raw material. For polycarbonate 90 to 100 degree. Okay, and PP, anyway PP and all, this mark will not come, because it shear rate is, I told you yesterday, 1 lakh. For some issue, something, don't just reduce the temperature, because if you reduce the temperature, the melt viscosity will reduce. If you, instead of 300 degree for polycarbonate, you are operating 250, the melt temperature will reduce, and excessive pressure is applied on the metal to push it to the cavity. Same problem will come. So keep a proper melt temperature, mold temperature, gate size has to be generous as per shear rate. Then this can be solved. This is a record groove or finger mark. Have anybody seen this mark? Have you seen this type of mark on the molded part? So what is it actually? The raw material, when it is injected, it doesn't get a proper pressure, back by proper pressure. What happens? It flows, stops. Again, it flows, stops. Very well, it's a microsecond. We cannot even think of. It is not able to flow freely. So it flows, stops, flow stops, flow stops. So something flow, stop, flow, stop. What happens? It will show as a finger, stopping, going, stopping, going. So that mark is shown as a finger mark. So why finger mark is coming? Because cavity inside, after the gate, the cavity inside the cavity, metal is not flowing smoothly as per desired speed. So what is the reason? What could be the reason? Major reason could be, one could be the feed system. Our runner gate is not proper. Okay, so much pressure drop is happening. So all the pressure we are giving in the machine is only going to the feed system, runner, screw and gate. Nothing is passing to the properly passing to the cavity area. So first fix is to be fixed. People fix by injecting it so fast, sometime over fast and all. But better to solve by increasing the gate size a little bit, or volume of the gate. Like yesterday we have spoken the design of the gate, increasing volume of the gate, or increasing the injection pressure. If injection pressure in the machine has been kept very less, increase a little bit. If you are running in a to remove the gate blush, this mark, people reduce the injection speed. In that case, this mark will come. So they will struggle in between. This was both the mark are ulta pulta. Whenever gate blush comes, this get removed. Whenever this get removed, gate blush comes. So for that reason, I told, when we increase the gate, both things will be attended simultaneously. Otherwise, this will behave ulta pulta. If something is getting increased and one is reducing, then we'll be in a trouble. We'll be in a soup. We don't know what to do. And we have to set the process so much critically in the molding machine, it will not be repeatable. So better to attend the gate, then both the condition will be met. And better to maintain, if mold temperature also maintained properly, this also get reduced. Because mold temperature is kept, whatever is required, what happens, metal flows smoothly. So that stopping, going will not happen. Okay, so this is what. Sometimes so thin part has this problem, then part design we have to increase the thickness. Whatever we do, nothing is going to affect, then part thickness has to be increased so that metal flow will happen properly. Okay, these are record grooves. And the flash can be due to multiple things. One, our machine, yesterday we discussed, our machine tonnage is not sufficient to close the mold properly. Okay. Second, parting line has already worn out. Our mold parting line already damaged. Okay, it can be one reason. And third is very, very important. Like our gate size is screw, runner and gate. Third, gate is so small, when we are injecting, the gate already has closed, gate freezed, and part has not filled. So what we'll do, we'll give excess pressure in the machine and try to fill the part. Then what happens? Gate already freezed, and in the runner area, the mold opens little bit. So what happens? Flash come in that area. So due to improper gate also, this can come in system. So give a generous gate properly. Okay. Sometimes if the part thickness, product design, the thickness is so small, metal will not flow inside. Then also in the gate area, runner area, you can see more flash due to tonnage also. So increase the tonnage in the machine if it is not properly set. If the machine is not suitable, go for a next machine. We have done the calculation, showed the calculation how to do a clamping tonnage calculation. If gate is getting freezed off, increase the gate so that metal will flow inside the cavity instead of gate blocks, and in the runner mold opens and this flash comes. And one more thing is like wearing out of the parting line could be due to multiple reasons. If suppose when cavity and core is getting butt, okay, and there is a tonnage we are applying, so our steel should be sufficient enough, steel butting area should be sufficient enough to take care of the clamping force of the machine. For a hardened steel, it could be like 20 kilogram per mm². Okay, if that sufficient area is not there, that cavity core, that butting area will get compressed, damaged, and also flash can come in a later stage. The next is a cut piece or a short shot. When we are discussing short shot, there are multiple kinds of cut piece. Just I'll connect my main connection here. So short shot or cut piece is part is not completely filled. It can be multiple types. First, this type of short shot. So here we can see first one, the short shot is coming in between the part, not in the end of the fill. Okay. And the second one, we can see this is coming in the rim area. This is also in the end of the area. So whenever short shot is coming, in between the part, okay, that means this area is not getting, here the heavy pressure drop is happening or some air entrapment is happening. See, you can see the ribs are not so thin, the melt is getting frozen off here. So plastic raw material always flow, wherever thickest area is there. Okay, it takes the thick part, thick area, whatever is there in a pipe also. If there is a thick pipe and a thin pipe, water flows through a thick pipe, higher diameter pipe, not to a smaller one. Similar way, plastic initially flows in a thicker area. So in this part, wherever thicker part wall thickness is there, melt flows in that area initially, and at the end it recognizes there is a thin part. When it fills, the pressure get built up in the cavity, then it understands there is a thin area also. But by that time, what might have happened, all these area initially little filled area, that raw material get freezed up. Plastic is already frozen. Plastic when stops the flow, it is flowing and it is get stopped somewhere, then it cools down. That is a property of plastic. Okay, not like water. That is why it is not a non-autonomous. When it stops, it freezes and cools and become a hard thing. Okay. So what happens when initially it flows, whenever it reaches here, it is not going inside because thin area. The metal get flows all over the area. After building, completely filling this area, pressure is built up. Then it try to push the metal inside this area. But what happened? This area already freezed. These ribs are so thin, already freezed. Then plastic will not go inside at all. Okay. And what happened? Whatever we do, we increase the gate size also. Whatever we increase the gate size also, this is not going to fill. Only thing is to modify the product design. We have to increase this thickness, okay, in this area, so that before the flow happens through here itself, will fill and go to the end of the fill. This area should not be the last point to fill. This is how we have to modify the part. Okay. Sometimes what people do, they'll move the gate away from this area. Then also it supports sometimes. Okay. Because this area, will remain like a end of fill. We'll move the gate away from it, not near. Near means more problem. This is another type of shot will where like some type of two flow are coming. It's a well line or a air entrapping happening. So better to give some air, air escaping pins or air vending or something, and can be solved. or here it can be also melt temperature drop happening. So improve the mold temperature, as a mold temperature has to be kept as per combination. Improve the mold temperature, improve the melt temperature, increase the melt temperature as per raw material suggestion. For a critical part, you are right. For a critical part, big part, instead of taking last moment headaches and all, it is better to do a predictive analysis in mode flow. So mode flow can predict these things in a very better way at the earlier stage. Absolutely. In the ribs, what happened? Raw material cools down. No, ribs means obstruction. Material is trying to move, but it is something is stopping. It flows. The undulation will happen. So what happens? It cools down. So obviously, short fill is going to come. So gate sometime there will be a gate is freezed. Then metal is not moving forward. That also then gate size has to be increased. So we have to see pressure drop. Yesterday we have seen pressure drop in the gate. So Coulter I told it should be 30 to 35, 40 MPa up to the gate. So it is going above that, cavity will not get a proper pressure. So increase the gate in that case. So holistically, this has to be attended. Okay, not just in the machine pressures, increase some pressure and inject it. So it's a combination of things. So we have to understand why it is coming. First of all, this second type of short may be coming due to gate, air entrapment. If you increase the gate, it will not solve.
Yes.
Here in this case, end of fill, if you increase the gate, it will solve. Third one, because the end of fill, pressure drop is happening. Here we give simply air. If we give air, sometimes we give air vent also, it may reduce, but still it will not fill because pressure drop is there. Then gate increase is the only option. But here in this case, we increase the gate also, it will not fill because this is due to the part solidification in the part. So we have to understand why this is coming. So all the short will not be same. Different reasons could be there. So understand that based on this and then attend the problem. Sometimes the machine nozzle size will be so small. Whatever we are giving pressure in the machine, everything the nozzle itself will be consuming. Nothing is coming to the runner and the gate and the part. So we have to do that. So in the molding machine, okay, I told you up to the gate 30 to 40 MPa is the best pressure drop. In the molding machine, when material is coming through the nozzle, there is a pressure drop happening in the nozzle also. Generally, it should be around 10 MPa. Okay, this is a blister. This is an aesthetic problem whenever like sometime what happened, some degrade amount of material, degrade means some amount of fume also comes, especially in fire retardant, there some fumes may come. Okay, that fumes get entrapped. So keeping the melt temperature proper or not overheating. Sometimes nozzle also it's a biggest problem in this type of issues. Nozzle overheats and some type of air. And sometimes when we are doing a suck back, some type of amount of air gets inside the machine. That also goes inside. And third could be like, our thickness of the part is so high, part thickness is so high, we inject the part completely, hold it, and when the material cools down, okay, it's not as van der Waals effect, cool down. So initially outer surface, wherever mold plastic is contact with the steel cools, okay. So whenever it cools down, it shrinks. So external area wherever contact with the steel shrinks, and inside that part there will be a vacuum generated, and due to that vacuum it will show up like a blister or a hollow. That also in the runner you can see, look a thick area runner, especially in the runner runner and screw bush area, bottom side you can see this mark, and it can come in the part also. If so, what we can do, like even increasing, so if it is due to that cooling thickness over thickness, then what means our part is not getting properly packed, our gate is already fixed. So increase the gate so that whenever it cools we can give excessive packing time. Giving a excessive extra packing time will helps in that problem. So if packing time we are increasing, still it is coming, means what, then the gate is a problem. Gate we are giving excessive packing time or pressure in holding time, it is not going to the cavity. So increase the gate thickness, then that metal also, so that gate freezing time will increase. We have discussed on gate freezing time, it will go up, so extra metal will be pumped into the cavity, then also this problem can be done. So extra setback, or in the nozzle, whenever machine head and our nozzle there is some it's not properly tight or something, air is getting inside, then properly do that machine head and nozzle, that area has to be sealed properly. So all these things, and sometimes air vent also helps little bit. Some air inside a cavity also getting trapped. Okay, so air vent also help in this. This is this many people might have seen. It is not a jetting. Okay, why jetting is coming? Jetting is like, no, you can see a zigzag, like a snake type of formation in the part. Why it is come is, whenever plastic is injected through the gate, plastic suddenly flows so fast and hit the next wall. Then it might have it's a hollow cavity inside a metal is injecting, so it will zigzag, it goes and touch, then it starts spreading to the other area. So the first raw material which is initially injected, okay, cools down quickly and its color may differ from other one. That a color difference, and the flow is showing as a jetting mark. This is majorly because due to in the gate size is small, so when we are injecting it, suddenly it comes, it shoots like anything. Then in that shooting, I already described, when it shoots, what happens, so speed it goes through the gate, that color due to shear the discoloration happens initially, and that show up a jetting mark. So what people does, they increase the gate size. They make, like yesterday we had discussed the type of gates. Little bit wider gate, increase the gate size. Sometimes they just rotate the runner instead of it shoots to the cavity. Just rotate it and divert it and give to the part. And sometimes in the molding machine, people reduce the speed of injection. Even though many cases if we reduce also, this will not get solved. That means we have to do it in the mold properly. Okay, gauge size, runner size. Sometimes runner is so small, or it's just whenever something is so small, when we exert excessive pressure, what happens? Speed of the metal will increase. Okay, so high speed it get injected, and due to shear color changes. Initial metal what is entering changes that. So better to modify the gate in this case instead of adjusting in the process. And second thing, we can adjust in the part. Okay, in plastic, generally, whenever plastic is injected to any cavity, it is said that it is better it hits somewhere in the some steel, so that it gradually it flows uniformly. Instead of suddenly you are shooting into the. This happens in a thicker part generally. Thick plastic parts where thickness is huge. Okay, we are giving small gate. So instead of that, give some stopping, something restriction. People put some ejector pin, some projected pin or something, so the metal hits there and it stops its flow and it diverts properly. This is how jetting can be solved. And mold temperature, proper melt temperature, keeping also melt temperature also optimizes this problem. So we assume that everything with yesterday's training, we assume that everything, mold temperature, melt temperature, pressure, everything is kept as per 98% injection, then holding, all things is done. After that, this problem comes, then we have to take care of the gate thickness, then give some projection or something, so that the restriction happen, metal will not get shoot. All this can be done. Sometimes cold slug well, providing some cold slug well near the gate, so the metal get diverts suddenly. That also helps. These are the tricks to solve this problem. So this is Singh mark. Singh mark also, as we described, there are multiple type of Singh mark. Singh mark looks alike, but reason would be multiple, different. Singh mark is nothing but it's a differential cooling in the part which is giving. See, due to differential cooling, volumetric shrinkage will differential. Okay, shrinkage means what? Every raw material, whatever we heat and cool, it will at the heat it expands, and when cool it contracts. That is shrinkage. Okay. Normally for almost all the raw material, there is a uniform shrinkage happening. Okay, shrinkage is depend on the rate of cooling. If we are if there is a thick area, it takes more time to cool. So it more time means it shrinks more. So if in a part we have a multiple wall thickness, one area it is 2 mm, one area it is 4 mm. The 4 mm take lot of time. 1 mm, 2 mm thickness may cool in 10 seconds. 4 mm take 20 seconds. So up to 20 seconds, you keep on shrinking. So we can see depression in the part due to the thickness variation in the part. This Singh mark. Next, our thickness is also proper, but we are given some ribs on the part. Bottom side, there is some ribs. And ribs, there is a proportionate is there. What is the wall thickness of the part to the rib? There is a proportion. If proportion is not maintained, like wall rib thickness is quite high, generally wall thickness of the part to the bottom side rib thickness, we will cover it in the product design, should be 50 to 60%. If it is above that, we feel now it strength will increase. No, then it will result into sigma, because it takes more time to cool. Second is, we have maintained that rib is also thickness is properly maintained as per product design. Still sigma comes, because why? Because our gate is already freeze. It could be due to feed system also. We are giving pressure in the machine, but it is not going to the cavity. We are giving adequate holding time. It's not going to the cavity. So cavity will not get packed properly when the in the cooling time, when the packing time. So what happens? It will be shown as a sigma. So increase the gate size, proper feed system as per our MPA. We are told no pressure drop in the feed system. Very, very important. Most of the problem comes to the feed system, and many less tool maker touch the feed system after first try. And I tell you, my experience, my career, if I made 100 tools, 99 tool I correct feed system after first trial. I never done any mold without correcting feed system at the first trial. And I disagree to that thing. First trial feed system will be okay. I totally disagree to this, because for a scientific injection molding, never it happens first time feed system will be okay. Every time we watch all the gate freezing time, pressure drops, everything we watch properly, then 100% there will be something to do in the feed system. Okay, so feed system very important. Second is, as sir told, Devendra is told, ring plunger is worn out, our machine is not proper, then material will not be injured. That also goes to the sigma mark. Okay, nozzle of the machine is small, that also goes to the sigma mark. So if everything in that area is proper, we assume, then it is coming, then we have to attend the part design and the mold design. First point is a part design, tool design. You know, every time we have to see for a consistency, part has to be robust first, then mold has to be robust, then go to the machine. Because if one machine is problem, we can change to another machine if available. But when the part design and mold design, there is a problem. Tool, okay, then wherever we take the mold, it is a problem. What happened then? Our molder will do, instead of giving melt temperature 250 degree, they will increase to 280 degree. Then what happened? The molecular property of the material will reduce. It is overburned. Then what happened? Our service, when the product is going to the field or service, instead no, it stay for 10 years, it breaks in 2 years. Part cracks in 2 years, because molecular weight is destroyed. Molecule is overheated and destroyed. So part may look same, but property will change. So that is why we are telling part design, tool design, tooling first has to be attended, then go to increasing the melt temperature, excessive temperature, all these things. That is not recommended. Keep all those things in a recommended condition and attend this. Okay, we are doing a gate free study.
Yeah.
Okay, I am putting 2 seconds of holding. Okay, part is filled. Sigma is, I keep 3 seconds. Sigma has reduced. 4 seconds it reduced. 5 seconds it reduced. Weight also stable now. Now I'm giving 6 seconds, weight is not increasing, still sigma is there. 7 seconds I'm giving, still sigma is there. Means weight is freezed, nothing is going inside. Still, that means gate is freezed. Sometimes it will be like in this spot, sigma spot, there will not be any cooling line. So what happens? This area takes more time. We are given time second, it takes more time to cool down. After coming outside, no, the mold also keeps on cooling. That area will be hot. So we have to provide proper cooling lines. In this spot, some cooling line, a spot element, like some people know if it is not at all going, some people give higher temperature steel in the area, like beryllium copper. They will put small piece of beryllium copper in this sigma area so that it quickly conduct the heat. If you are not able to give a cooling line, water line, or they will drill and put a copper plug inside the cavity or core, so that heat get extracted quickly and cools. That area cools quickly and sigma will not be formed. These are the technique.
People are using cooling pins also, na?
Yes, yes. There are some pins are there. It's like a conductive element, cooling pins. Okay. Inside that, sometimes liquid will be the heat transfer pipes we used to tell. So that,
correct.
Will be, high temperature conductive gases like freon gas and all similar type of gas liquids will be there. It conducts, it quickly conducts. That also possible. It based on the mold cost and intricacy, if it is possible to give, there is enough space, give cooling line, all these things better, grease, nothing is all, then go for those type of option. There is no. Okay, now we came to molded stress. Okay, this is very, very interesting topic, and quite mystery, people feel, because crack doesn't happen immediately. Molded in stress means inside our part, plastic part, we in the plastic injection molding, we are doing in a higher pressure. It's a high pressure process, okay, and quite speed we are injecting this. So what happened? Obviously, whatever we are giving a higher packing or pressure, there is an amount of stress built up in the part, because the molecules we are pressing, so it will be in a stress condition. So whenever we get it gets a chance, it cracks by its own. That is known as molded in stress. Okay, so molded in stress may not happen immediately. You may have molded the part, it looks good, no other problem is there, part is very good, okay, and the part is used for any application, it is assembled and it is working in the field, and after 3 months, 6 months or 1 year, you hear that the part is automatically cracked, even without loading. You might have kept it idle. Sometimes it has happened, you have packed and kept it in the box, and after some time, the part has already cracked inside without doing any loading. For an example, there was a case that I attended. The vehicle visor, in the two-wheeler, there is a visor in front. It is molded out of polycarbonate, something like cooling glass type of, tinted blackish tinted polycarbonate. And the bike scooter, after assembling, it will be, bike will be kept in outside. So a bunch of motorcycle, every visor got like crack, like this type of crack, small micro crack, and they were suspecting on the raw material, all these things, and we spotted it to a molded in stress. What are the reasons of stress? The reasons of stress are multiple. There are, and everything looks alike. Okay, one is environmental stress crack, means our part we are made and it is lying in the environment, direct sunlight, UV rays. Even it is not in the direct sunlight, still inside the home also, indoor also, there is an amount of UV coming and hitting the part. So due to that environmental, this part is getting cracked. Second is static, like the part is idle, we are not doing anything. As I told, it is in packed condition, or just this part is independent part, we are no loading, nothing is there, still it cracks. You'll be surprised how it cracks automatically. We cannot see, but suddenly, sometimes we can see small cracks come and it cracks. And third is a fatigue. Okay, like this part is already in loaded condition, kept in loaded condition. When we assemble it, when there is a gauze, in that we have put screw, everything is fine. In our junction box also, Devendraji, if this connector and whatever is, we are connecting it in the latch. When we are connecting at the shop floor, when we are manufacturing, no issues there. When it stays in the application for a longer time, 6 months, they'll tell our latch is broken. Molecular degradation, multiple things. Okay, whatever happens in molecular degradation means the molecules, see, I told every plastic material is made up of multiple molecules, monomers, and it clubs to a polymer. So it's a molecule inside. So when we are overheating the molecule, like excessive heat in the machine, then molecules disintegrate. That also make it brittle and crack. Second, I told, whenever there is a material is susceptible to some chemical attack, every material is not ideal for all the chemical atmosphere. If we are using polycarbonate in the petroleum atmosphere, it cracks within 5 minutes. Okay, acetone atmosphere crack within seconds. So we had to select that properly. So crack means what? Molecule is getting damaged. So there we have to use PE, PP only, or nylons. So that is a chemical molecular degradation, and it could be due to excessive temperature. Yesterday we were discussing what is the continuous use temperature of every polymer. Polycarbonate can be used 110 degree or 90, 100, 110 degree. PP can be in 50, 60 degree. ABS 75, 70, 75, 80 degree. There are some ABS which can go to 85 degree also. Okay, nylons can be 90 degree. Glass fill nylon 130, 140. Our Norel can be 130, 135 degree. But if we are exposing that continuously to another higher thermal, continuous use temperature, that also can damage it. And UV also is a big component. That's why most of the raw material there will be UV additive added. UV, when contact with the plastic, it degrades molecular, it damages molecules. That's why UV additives are added in the plastic, and multiple other factors. These are the major factors. So I'll show you. This is a very, 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 very important factor to understand. If we crack this, most of the case we'll understand molded stress. What is really molded stress? We can see a ball top side and bottom side, same ball. Both looks alike. Those both are a molded part. Only difference is first part has low molded stress. Second part has higher molded stress. Low molded stress means it is molded properly. Proper pressure is maintained in the machine. Proper drying is done. Proper gauge size. We are not exerting excess pressure, and melt temperature is not dropping. Okay, melt temperature drop means what happened? Raw material drops its temperature when it is flowing. Gate is small. Then we have to give excess pressure. So what happens? It gets compressed and stress is built up. So this is molded properly, and this one is molded. Second one is higher molded, not molded properly. We employed higher extra injection, but the gate is small. Mold temperature is not maintained, so melt temperature dropped and we are compressed. Is all these problems are there in this material. How it behaves in application? First case, we have given a load. This small elephant shows a small load. Okay, we are given a load in this part. There is no issue. We are given a bigger elephant, means a higher load. This part will not fracture, will not fail. And third, we are given both together, both elephant together, still it withstands, means it withstands the application for a longer time without fail. Second one application, it is a higher molten strength. As I told, mold temperature not proper, melt temperature not proper, higher pressure to fill. All these things will result in higher stress in the molded part. Ejector not proper, and in uniform ejector, while ejector is bending, so some pressure is accumulated inside the part. What happens? Small elephant, no problem, because small loading, no problem will happen. But extensive load or next load, even the bigger next one itself, it fractures, it cracks. So see, the same part, one is molded properly, low molded strength, one is higher, looks the same, but at the service, one miserably fails, and with time it can fail. And if in this case the part lower mold stress can take higher chemical resistance. If a polycarbonate, one is molded with higher stress, one is molded with lower stress, suppose, okay, one is a good part, which have a poor part, higher molded stress. If you put a chemical or grease, it fractures 1 week. Other one, it take more time to fracture. So the more stress inside the part, the more susceptible chemical attack. Weatherability, in weathering also, if it is staying in the atmosphere, or UV also attack more when molded stress is more. Sorry, if it's like corona, I can tell example, right? Example, this month, the person already is a deceased, then corona can attack easily. If the person already is immune and healthy, okay, corona cannot attack. He stays for that even. It's the same way. Higher molded stress means it fails very easily. Molded in stress, what are the causes? One is slow filling, and I will tell you, molded in stress is higher in case of amorphous plastic. Reason, now everybody might have known, it's simple. We are discussing the first day, because amorphous plastic, the shape is like randomly arranged. Okay, it's not a bundle like semi-crystalline. So we are pressing it highly, then what time we try to go to that crystalline type of bundle shape, and it doesn't like to stay in that shape. So it is compressed, over compressed. There is chance for getting compressed over in a amorphous, because it is free shape. So what happens, after some time it opens up. Okay, it is compressed over, then it opens up. So slow filling is a cause for, when we are slowly filling, what happens, our material, 300-degree material, what is injected, will very slowly you are injecting. So plastic being non-Newtonous, it reduces by the injection. When it reach the gate, it might have become 200-degree. So what happens is flow will reduce. So thick material flow will reduce, and its viscosity will reduce with the temperature, reducing temperature. So thick material paste we are trying to inject with higher pressure. What happens? Get compressed a lot, so much packed, and molded stress is generated. Overpacking, excessive holding time. No, now your thickness in the part, one area is 2 mm, the thickness of the part is 2 mm suppose, and one small area it's a 5 mm thickness. So to remove the sing mark, what we are giving? We are giving excess packing to remove the sing mark. Actually, we have to give some thickness. We have to properly give some pin or something core out to reduce the thickness. Instead, we are now giving holding time extra and completely making the part flat. What happens? This area will fill properly, but other area, just to compromise this filling area, we are compromising all other area, and all other will be overpacked. Okay, we are supplying extra food for them. What happened? It will be overpacked, especially amorphous. This is a danger condition. Polycarbonate, polystyrene, PPO, our Norail, ABS, most amorphous plastic, very careful on this. Semi-crystalline, as I told you, it likes to be overpacked because it has to come to that bundle shape. When we overpack, it comes to its proper shape. So they like that, but amorphous doesn't like that. That's why you see amorphous plastics are more prone to stress crack. Then mold is very cold. I am telling in polycarbonate example, we are asking for 90 to 100 degree. We are keeping 40 degree. So melt will not flow smoothly. 300 degree melt reduced 380, 280, 250, 200. So what happens? Extra pressure applied. So it compresses and stress is more. Then some undercuts in the mold. We have seen plastic caps. It in the mold will be just stripping out. We are not giving any mechanism. But not all the material is meant for just stripping out. Amorphous plastic are not meant to strip out. Okay, if it's a bigger undercut, we have to give some angular core or some side core or something. But PP, and all these things can be easily just push it out. It expands and come out. Nylons also. So undercuts in the mold, and we are not considering that what raw material we have made. What happens? It bends and come out and becomes sometimes it will not crack, but inside that bending will cause a molecular congestion and makes a stress in the part. After in the service, it cracks. Next, insufficient ejector pin, as mentioned. There are few ejector pins, all parties pushed, not uniformly pushed. So part bends, okay, and whatever bends, the molecules also bends inside. We cannot see that. So inside, so we give uniform ejector pins, sometimes stripper pins, stripper plates, stripper like block ejection, automotive bumper ejection we used to give instead of single point ejection. So all these things, it's not just to remove the ejector pin mark, we give bumper or plate ejection. It's for this purpose also. And in case we are putting any insert in the molding, like over molding, brass insert is being given for a threading and all. If the brass insert needs so cold, we are putting, actually we have to heat it and put. It is cold. It is similar like mold temperature. What is the mold temperature of materials? We are putting the brass into polycarbonate. This metal has to be heated to 100 degree, and it has to be maintained 100, not heating. I was there in a trial, and one place customer had some crack issue, so he was using metal insert, copper brass insert. I recommend to heat that insert to the mold temperature recommended material. It was ABS PC alloy. It has to be heated to 80 degree. So what he has done, he has an oven quite maybe 500 meters away. He goes there, heat it, and he comes back. After half an hour, he started molding. So he told, I am heating it. So heating means not the just show I am heating. It has to be in that when injection is happening, the insert temperature has to be 80 degree or 100 degree. It's not that I heated it to 80 and then it cooled down, I am putting. So that has happened. So near the molding machine, some arrangement has to be done to heat that. And while heating the insert, heat it extra 110 or 20 degree extra when we are putting it, before heat it extra, so that when the injection happens, some cooling happen during mold closing, and it will come to that temperature. That gives a good result. If you cracking in the metal insert boss and all, wherever the thread is happening, this is going to solve your problem. And avoid sharp edges in molded parts, because sharp edge means what? Sharp edge means it's a zero area. Edge is a zero area. There is no area. So whatever load is applying in that edge, okay, zero area is going to get all that load. So area is less, pressure is more. Then what a fracture happens. So increasing the radius means we are increasing the area of that. We are increasing the area indirectly. So whatever pressure we are giving, it is distributed in that radius. So what happen? Stress will get eliminated. So stress crack will happen. There is an area and we are giving X pressure. So in that area, we are increasing that area, that uniform distribution of that pressure happens. So it reduces the crack tendency. So what is the mold stress, molded in stress? What is the relievers? How we can solve? It's just opposite to what we have discussed earlier. Fill the part quickly so that melt temperature will not reduce pressure, whatever we go into the part properly. If we are giving, like I told you, wall thickness 2 mm, one area is 5 mm, to compensate that swing mark in that thick area, we are giving higher holding time. It is not the solution. Reduce the holding time as per the requirement and solve it in the part design or the tool design. Okay, giving some cooling thing or reducing the thickness at that area. Okay, then if mold temperature is not ideal, proper mold temperature to be given. Sometimes higher mold temperature give to sigma, overheating of the mold also. We are keeping 100, some point it will be overheating. So mold temperature, one thing, cold mold will not allow to fill the part properly. So increase the hotness of the mold to the recommend so that it easily fill and mold stress will not be there. And larger ejector pin and proper ejector position and proper type of ejection like stripper, bumper, whatever we are. And sometimes air ejection also may be required. Preheated metal insert as told you, preheated. And radius, wherever sharp corners, reduce the, provide some radius. Wherever insert is there, corners and all, blend it, make some radius. Sharp corners has to be avoided. So this is what overpacking. This is the same part, gate. This is a gating area. I fill the part normally. Normally means mold temperature is ideal. Gate is idle, everything, melt is idle, everything. So you can see my molecular weight, molecular distribution looks same everywhere. Everywhere it looks same. This is an overpacked part. I am giving excess holding time, no mold temperature proper. What happens near the gate area? Here and all it will fill, but near the gate area, molecules will get compressed like anything. So these molecules, doesn't have any freedom to move. Even it is solid part inside, movement happens. It is like atoms and molecules inside, there are movements. So this, in this area, it is so much compressed, it freedom is stopped. It cannot even move inside. Okay, molecules, what happened, it tried to open it out every time. It exert a pressure to open out, and when it open out in the service, gate area is very prone to crack, molderness crack, because gate area is very difficult to control. Other area very easy. The gate area excess pressure automatically comes due to injection. So proper design of gate not done, this area cracks very easily. So better to relocate the gate area away. If suppose in this part, I'll just go to next. See, this is a typical example. Hope you can see my spoon. In this spoon, we are given gate and this area in the center, near to that, wherever we are taking the food load. And this area is the same where load happens. We are holding the spoon here, and gate is here wherever loading happens. Gate is, I told you, gate is very difficult to control. Their overpacking, this tend to get overpacked. Okay, molecule will be tight and will try to open it up, and the same area load is coming in the spoon. So what happened? It cracks. So here in this case, what we had to do, we have shifted the gate to an area where load will not come. Then what happened? Loading area and gate area is totally different. So here it will not crack. So shifting a gate to a non-critical area where load doesn't come also help, because sometimes gate area, whatever we do, we cannot eliminate the stress. Next, we are going to nozzle effect. Nozzle in the machine. This is a nozzle of a machine. I tell you, nobody cares for the nozzle in the machine. Everybody is behind heater. And I tell most of the problems, many severe problems come from the nozzle. Why? And it has to be properly done. Why? Because I'll tell you, this is a study. So generally in a part, most probably near the gate, maximum problem, acidic problem near the gate. We have seen flow mark, finger mark. Most of the problem comes near the gate, and to fix that problem, we adjust our molding parameters. Mostly, to fix that problem, we adjust molding parameters, slope, speed, all these things. We will do. Somehow we solve. So where from the raw material near the gate come from? Anybody can tell the answer? Okay, when we inject through the sprue, runner and gate, first there is a material near the gate, then a material next to the gate, then to the end of fill, like that it goes, and to the end of the part. So the material coming near the gate, or when we are injecting, first some material enters the part. When we are injecting, first certain amount material enters through the gate to the part, then some amount of material enters, like that it goes. So first entry material, can anybody tell where it goes? First entry material through the gate, where it goes? Please unmute the mic. Somebody can tell whether it goes stay near the gate or to the end of the material, and whatever material coming next will push that material to the end of the part, or it stays near the gate. Where the material goes, first entry material, where it goes? This is my question. Can anybody tell the answer? Anybody has any answer? So this is a good information for you. The first entry materials will stay, will make the, will stick near the gate, and it makes the outer area of the part. Wherever, see, whatever plastic material enters, what happens? It touches the steel and it cools down. So first entry material makes the skin near the gate. It will not go to the end. The second, then it forms like a thick area. Area top and bottom will be cool, and center area, little area will be the unsolidified area that moves. So first entry material will stay near the gate. It will not go to the end. Second, it is like that. And this is a study has been done to understand that a molding machine was running in a white color. We had dropped a small master batch, first red color, and after 1 second or 2 seconds, we dropped yellow color, then blue color, green, blue, like that. So to understand where it is going and say. So first granule, what has been put, small master batch staying in the gate. Next what is going away. It says that first entry material stays near the gate and makes the surface of that part entry area. So normally in every molding, the entry area is the biggest problem. Flow mark, flow mark, especially flow mark and all. Sometimes burning mark comes, brown color, near the gate area, and very difficult to attend. And where the material comes from? The material first material comes from the nozzle, nowhere else. Right, no? So that is why we are telling nozzle has to be properly done, has to be taken care. So how to take care of the nozzle? Otherwise, this first material cannot be solved. So nozzle is a quite important thing. First, I have shown an improper nozzle. Quite often in many molding shop, when I used to go to the trial, you will tell nozzle block ho jata hai. Nylon nozzle is getting blocked. Then what they will take a lighter, gas lighter burner, and heat the nozzle, and now it is working. See, if a nozzle is getting blocked, everybody knows how to open. You should understand that is a symptom of something faulty. Not take a lighter or some gas burner and burn it and open it. That is not a right thing. It is getting blocked. There is some problem. Either your heater is not proper, your thermocouple is not proper. Either it can overheat or it is not proper. Or some people may have coupled all the thermocouple together. So this is not in a proper temperature. I told melt temperature in a machine nozzle in the after the metering zone has to be kept in ideal condition. If 300 degree everywhere, it should be 300 in front. It's not that suddenly drop. So just heating it with a burner is not a solution. It is a just temporary. You are somehow fixing it. Okay. And second case, you can see there is a big nozzle. I given a small heater. It may that point may get heated, other may not get heated properly. First case heater itself is not there, then we are in, and in running we will feel it's running. So this is not a solution. A lot of problem comes by doing this type of juggleries. Second, what is the ideal kind of heating in the nozzle? The heater should be at least 80 to 90% covered by this type of heaters. Okay, ceramic heaters are best, and thermocouple should be independently connected. I've seen this thermocouple get damaged, and we are connecting this thermocouple both head of the machine and nozzle with the same. And what happens? As I told yesterday, heater heats up very quickly. In hot runner also nozzle heats up very quickly because it is small element. Volume of the steel is very small, and head of the machine takes more time to heat and more time to cool. So if you are connecting the thermocouple or a head of the machine and nozzle together, then one heats fastly. Obviously, problem your burn mark skin, all these things come. So independently, we have to control the heater of the nozzle, and nozzle heater should be covered like this and proper size. In many places we go and see the heater will be in a red hot condition. In the machine, you see, they tell Mulder tell, oh, it's normally red hot only. No, it will not be red hot. Red hot is a faulty signal because it's overheating and heat is not going to the machine nozzle. It's just heating up. So the screw of the heater may not be tight. It has to hold tight to the nozzle. If it is not there, it just heat up and become red hot. Nothing will go to the nozzle. Then also your part will not feel or problem will come. So please, we have to take care of the heater nozzle very much. So this is how nozzle is constructed. There will be heaters and thermocouple to sense that and control this temperature. Then there will be a hole and there will be a small land. Some of the material land may not be required, lower viscosity of PC and all. This is known as hang-up effect in a nozzle. Very problematic and important one because we don't give adequate attention to the nozzle area. This is the head of the machine where from metal comes. This is the nozzle. Okay, you see, this is the butting area. If the nozzle diameter is lesser than the head of the machine, okay, whenever injection happen, you can see a black area, hang up area, means where flow is not happening. This area, certain amount of metal neither will go front, it will stop there and stay, and it stays for longer time. Multiple shot goes. What happen after long cycle? It get degraded because it is staying for a temperature for longer time. So material molecule degrade and become brown color or black color. What happens? This black or brown color metal, degraded metal, little by little goes into the flow and goes and sit in the part, and you can see a burn mark on the part. You'll be attending all the problem, but nozzle nobody has touched. What happens? This difference will cause to hang up area, and it burns and go and sit in the part, and burn mark come on the part. So nozzle is very important in this. Second case is my nozzle diameter is higher. See, this is higher diameter and my machine head diameter is lesser. So what happened? While injection, there is no problem. Metal will go directly. After injection holding, we'll do a suck back. Metal is not to remove the pressure in front of the screw and to reduce the drooling metal coming automatically outside. We reduce the pressure. That is not a suck back. So during suck back, some amount of metal stays in this hang up area, dead spot, and stays there itself. And after multiple shots, this stays for a longer time, and this burns and become char or black color or brown color, whatever, burnt color, and it slowly go to the part. So this is another problem. So it means we have to keep diameter. This diameter is very important. Simply after making a nozzle, people just put a big chamfer to remove the this. That and all is not allowed. These two types. And third type of issue is there. If you have maintained the nozzle diameter and machine head diameter the same, everything is same, still sometimes the problem comes in some of the raw materials, especially for fire retardant materials and all, because those metal makes a scaling. Okay, continuous run, it forms a scaling. Hot runner also it happened. Prasanji may know that. So he agreed to that to me. So scaling happens, okay, continuous, and that stays in the machine. Sometimes when we are changing some raw material from some raw material, highly viscosity raw material to a lower. If we are running a polycarbonate, after that we are running PP. Sometimes some amount of polycarbonate will stay, make a scaling inside the nozzle. The other material cannot push it out. So after some time, what it burns, stays there and burns after a long time, and it can come. So how we can, these problems sometimes very difficult to attend, but how to optimize it? It is by, see, nozzle diameter we have to maintain properly. Second, inside area. If you see a machine nozzle, we are making a second spare nozzle. They will machine the outside area very nicely. machine it, lathe and all, then afterwards polishing everything, smooth polishing, and it looks very nice. We see inside the nozzle, it will be just drilled. They never polish and make proper, no, remove the cutter marks inside the nozzle, inside the machining area. Every time spare nozzle has this problem. So inside area of the nozzle has to be ideally, no, all the cutter mark has to be removed. It is like runner and part we are told. So this is for hot runner. Hot runner also many times, so we have discussed in a normal mold, screw bush inlet, screw inlet diameter has to be little bit bigger, 1.5 1 mm bigger than the machine nozzle diameter. Okay, so that screw bush easily comes out. It will not make an undercut and stay there fully. But in case of hot runner, it is not like that. In case of hot runner, see, if you are keeping hot runner machine nozzle diameter smaller than the hot runner screw bush entry of the screw bush, what happen? There will be a hang up area here, okay, due to the same effect. So what happened? This area will burn off and go to the part. This is the biggest problem many people, because Prasanji can come and they recommend to keep same diameter, very small difference, but all the molders tell no, we are using same nozzle for all the hot runner, cold runner, everything. We cannot change. That is a standard nozzle. Everybody tell. Machine people are given this as a standard nozzle. There is no standard like that. It is based on the application hot and cold runner. We have to change the nozzle. So the nozzle has to be kept the same diameter, little lesser only. Not even little. Same is better to prevent the mismatch. Little bit lesser we can give, not a bigger gap and all. And because in cold runner we keep 3 mm, 3.2.5, 4 mm, hot runner entry will be 9, 10 or 12 mm. Still we keep 3 mm. So pressure drop is a one problem. More than that, in this area there will be a dead spot and it burns and goes to the part. And white color part and all very, very difficult to control. So this is a biggest problem in hot runner area. Okay. So this has to be taken care. Whenever you take white part trial, hot runner, they tell you black dots are coming, burn marks are coming. After few shots, it will not starting. After 50 shot or 100 shot, in between start coming, and it stops. Again, it comes after some time. So this is a problem. And now we come to end of this module. And what are the do's, some of the do's and don'ts, do's for a better molding of a engineering plastic. First, know your material. Don't consider generic. It's PC, let follow some time 300. No, go to the detail. Go to what is the grade. It is a 945, 123, FR, non-FR. What is the pigment use? Something go in deep. What is the filler use? Based on that, there will be recommendation, mold temperature, melt temperature. Follow that. Don't go for generic. All the nylons by all the makers doesn't follow the same temperature. There are difference. So we have to. It's not just a polymer inside that material. There are a lot of additives and fillers inside that. So respect that. Know your material properly. Proper pre-drying has to be done. Drying is not keeping some heating for 1 hour and telling I was doing 6 months back. 6 months back there may not be it may not be wet condition, rainy condition. Then humidity will be lesser. When humidity changes, this also changes. So our raw material specification gives throughout the climate what should be recommended. So that's why they are given 4 hours 100 degree. It's not here they can give in dry season one temperature, whenever rainy season humid condition one, in Himalaya one condition. It's not like that. They given ideal condition. So let us follow that. Okay, then use proper size equipment. Injection, I know 70 to 40 to 70%, 80% has to be, 70% has to be utilized. Those things has to be done. Then proper size of machine, hopper dryer. I told one example. I don't know if I told or not. One place there was a very, very critical part, small part. So hopper dryer, they were using a normal bigger hopper dryer. They were using. They were heating, but dimension keep on changing. From starting to when morning we are molding something, after some 10 hour dimension change, the critical dimension 0 to, because flow of the metal was getting changed. Why? Because hopper dryer was so small, cumulative drying time was going too high. So molecular property, flow property, viscosity changes. You are overheating for a longer time. So that has to be taken. That is a proper sized equipment. And use proper design tool. Tool design means cooling, our gating, feed system, everything, ejection system, all these things have to be properly done. Use adequate runners. Oversized runners also reduce pressure drop. Small runner also reduce. Small runner reduce pressure heavily. Oversized runner no increasing cooling time and a wastage also. And use proper air venting. Air venting based on the raw material. We have discussed for nylon 0.02 to 253.03. PC higher like viscosity menu you took 0506 also. Ultim also we can go like proper base that also will be covered in a data sheet of a raw material. Please refer to that actually. If not, ask the raw material people and give a vending. And vending not just yesterday we were rubbing with not just rubbing with our file or something. That thickness has to be proper, width has to be proper 3 to 4, 4 5 mm. Then after 1 to 2 mm, it has to be relieved. Otherwise, it will clog. Some of the metal by running itself, FR grade, nylon and all, some fumes comes and clog the vending. So vending has to be sized properly. It has to be cleaned. So vending has to be proper and use proper sized nozzle. We have discussed what is a proper size. No hang up area should not be there. Then polishing inside the nozzle also very, very important. Okay. And use a proper screw design. Some you cannot use same screw design or metal for. And we have spoken for the abrasive, aggressive wear outs and chemical wear out. So some metal will be chemically wear out. So PVC we cannot use a normal screw. Bimetallic screw or not bimetallic like stainless steel screw has to be used. Some nylon or FR grade we have to use bimetallic screw. So proper design screw. Some of the material visited. So they is a polypropylene mixed with a pigment, okay, highly loaded pigment, thick green color. So it has to be mixed properly. So they use a high shear rate mixing screw. That is PP. It takes 1 lakh shear rate. It can be mixed. Same screw if you use for a PC, it burns the PC. We cannot use that because PC is a tougher material. We cannot just over compress, mix it heavily and mold it. Then it burns away. So the molecular weight will damage. So based on the material also we have to select the screw. And some lens, there is a lens, we are molding a lens. Okay, you have seen LED lens. There is a lens screw is there. Low shear rate screws are there. So based on that material also we have to design and select the screw. It's not all the screw meant for all the material. And maintenance, annual biannual maintenance. We have been seen in India, this is very, very poor. Nobody maintains. And I was running this machine 6 years. There is no problem. And this is the first lot I am getting this problem. This is a problem in your material. Many times material has been spotted. It is easy to tell. And we go and see that ring plunger worn out. There is no maintenance. Okay, lot of changes happen in the machine. Machine also wear out. No, machine is not without no wear out, wear and tear. It's a moving parts. A lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts are there. Lot of what we can say valves are there. Everything wears out. So we have to do that proper maintenance.